Okay, let's dive into this source material you sent over.
Right.
We're doing a deep dive today looking at quite a serious investigation. Alleged international crimes.
Yeah, the main source is a letter, and it describes files on an evidence drive.
Okay. And the person providing it identifies as a transport for London officer
Yeah,
and a company director.
that's what it says. So
Hmm.
our mission here is really to unpack the main claims and the evidence described in this material.
Right.
And, well, right away, the scale of these claims is pretty significant.
How so?
The source material says the author's been investigating what they call an international criminal and terrorist organization, operating apparently in Europe and Asia.
Okay, wow. And the main thing is cybercrime.
That's the central accusation, yeah. Specifically alleging a illegal operation of computers to stop important messages getting through.
Crucial messages.
Yes, and the material claims this interference is, well, really far-reaching.
Right.
It says NATO defense emergency messages were stopped, prevented from reaching multiple NATO governments.
Which ones?
It names Turkey, the UK, the US, Germany, others too, and NATO itself.
Blocking NATO emergency messages. That's a huge claim.
It is, and it doesn't stop there. The source also mentions national security messages to Commonwealth nations and realms, allegedly blocked.
Okay. Any others?
Plus, it mentions an energy security message to China and then messages to Thailand, Saudi Arabia, and Israel, also blocked, according to the author.
So how does the author describe these actions? I mean, the language they use.
Very strong terms, cybercrime, obviously, but also potentially treason in the UK context. Or even acts of war or NATO breaches if a state was involved. That's the qualifier they add.
Okay, really serious stuff. So what about proof? What evidence do they say they have?
Well, the material describes this a data drive. That's where the evidence is supposedly kept.
On a data drive. Okay. What's on it?
It mentions a camera folder, supposedly has images, videos. Some, the author claims, relate to hacking the UK Prime Minister's website contact form.
Okay. And there's more.
Yeah, a main folder called Evidence Dossier.
Right, the dossier.
Exactly. And this is described as containing, well, a lot of documents. Reports supposedly sent to governments, organizations like the UN, Interpol,
So formal reports.
apparently. Also mentioned is an evidence log detailing findings, examples of the suspected crimes, even a technologybriefing.pdf.
Technology briefing.
Yeah. And specific file names are listed, like report to PM Sunak.pdf and report to President Biden.pdf, plus a subfolder for scans.
So it sounds like they were trying to formally document and report this, but there's a personal side of this too, isn't there, in the material?
Oh, definitely. The author claims they've been under constant attack, harassment throughout this investigation.
What kind of harassment?
They describe things like street harassment, frequency or sonic weapons, even mind influence or control.
Mind control, wow.
Yeah. And they say this sometimes led to, quote, out-of-character behavior. It affected their communication, caused typing errors, even in email addresses, making things unreliable.
That sounds incredibly stressful, to say the least. Did it affect their life in other ways? Finances, maybe?
Yes. The material states they haven't been able to manage finances since 2022 because of the alleged harassment and hacking.
And the consequences.
Company property got repossessed, it says. And apparently the French government took out a mortgage on their home in France for property tax. The author states they expect full compensation later.
Huh, okay. Anything else on the personal front? They mentioned some academic work.
Right. Claims to have published peer-reviewed papers, one on Cosa Nostra history, another on the Great Pyramid's purpose. Mentions high scores.
But alleges problems there too.
Yes, claims revised versions of this work were lost because criminals remotely deleted their email accounts.
And what actions did they take with this dossier, this evidence?
According to the letter, they physically delivered the dossier to the British Embassy in Bangkok and to 5 newspapers there too.
In person, okay.
Yeah.
And emailing governments.
They describe trying that, emailing various governments, but they ran into issues like file size limits for attachments, found it suspicious, had to forward previously sent emails instead, says they kept Interpol informed throughout.
Right, so just to sort of wrap this part up, we've looked at these really serious allegations from the source material. Widespread international cybercrime, potentially hitting NATO, other governments.
Yeah, major claims. And we've talked about the described evidence, this collection on the drive, the dossier, the report.
And also the significant personal impact the author claims this whole investigation has had on them.
Exactly. And it's crucial, as you said, that we're just presenting these claims as they appear in the source material provided to us. We're not verifying them here, just outlining what's presented.
Right.
Which leaves us, and you listening, with something to think about. We live in this age of constant information. Cybersecurity is, a massive issue. So what does it mean when someone comes forward with such a detailed story? Alleged widespread digital interference affecting global security, backed up by what they described as a large amount of digital evidence.
How do we even begin to process and evaluate claims like that? Something to mull over.